At some point or another, we have all been there. We found a piece of jewelry, or maybe we found a really cool stone, and we're not sure exactly what it is. Let's say it's something you're wanting to resell. It's a necklace like this that's got some different stones in it, and it's got a few different types, and you want to sell it, but you just don't know how to identify the stones that are in this. Or you've got another piece of jewelry that's got some really pretty pink stones, and you want to list it, but you just don't know. Do you just put pink stone? Today, I'm going to share with you a few different methods to figuring out what kind of stone it is. Hey, I'm Margaret. I've been reselling and making YouTube videos for over 10 years. And one of the things I'm very passionate about is jewelry and teaching people how to find and resell jewelry online. So if this is something that interests you, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any content. Learning to identify stones, especially if you're reselling jewelry, can be really, really important, especially when you're wanting to make sure you're listing something for the right price so that the person that's looking for it can find it. And to be honest, I still struggle with especially green stones. I don't know what it is. There are certain ones I can remember like malachite, but others, for example, this one, every time I'm like, what is this one again? I can't remember. Or I'll think, oh, it's some kind of agate or something like that. But I too still have to double check because there's so many different stones, so many different colors that it's really easy to start getting them mixed up. So let's get started on the very first and easiest way to identify different types of stones. And I'm going to go through a few different ones today. This is a loose one that I've got, but I'll also be sharing some like this that are set into jewelry so that you can figure out what they are when you're listing them. The first and the probably easiest method is with Google image search. You can do this on your phone or you can do this on your laptop or computer. If you're going to use your phone, then you're going to go to the Google app and it will pop up almost just like this, and you'll see a little picture icon over here in the search bar. Select this and then you can upload a file or take a picture. If you're using your phone, it'll pop up a screen where you can just take a picture directly from your camera. First up, let's check out what these stones are that are in this beaded necklace. When I drop the photo in that I took of these, I can see that a lot of different beaded necklaces come up, but I'm noticing here Amazonite, 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 over and over again. And so that leads me to believe that my necklace is Amazonite. Another way to figure out what a gemstone is to go to a few different websites. If you do a search for green gemstone jewelry, and I like to put name and picture because sometimes you'll just get a list and there's no pictures, which is kind of nutty to me. You'll get a few different sites. So this is Gem Select, and it'll go through all the different green gemstones. Sometimes these sites don't have all the different ones that are available, which is why I really like the Google image search. There's this one, it's geology.com, but this one doesn't have, you really have to kind of dig and kind of compare on the images when you come to a site like this. And the same thing with this is all crystals, and it does have quite a few green and blue, and they have it broken down. But again, like this picture is Amazonite, but there are so many different colors of Amazonite, and that one doesn't like 100% match what I've got. So because there's not the variations there, it makes it a little more challenging. If you say just got a stone like this, or you can actually find these in jewelry as well. It'll have a bit of iridescence to it. And this is, again, you just drop the picture in, same way, labradorite, labradorite, etc. And you'll see that it just comes right through. Now, on this necklace, you'll see that there are also some other stones that are here, and they look like metal, but let's drop it in and see. There are a few things. This says chrome metallic disco ball, and if you'll see here, this is a pyrite stone. So here we go, marcasite pyrite that they've put. See, someone here just put cobalt blue dimpled glass, so maybe that's glass. But if you continue scrolling, you'll see pyrite and so on. These are glass, so you'd have to really look at the hole there and test them and see how hard they are to figure out if they're glass versus stone. This will also give you a lot of great keywords because as you can see here, it lets you know the type of bead it is and also how to describe it. So these are faceted, which means it's got those sharp cuts on it. Let's say you've got another one that's more like this. They're not beads per se. They're more stone-like, even though they're beaded onto a necklace. Let's see what we think they might be. So again, drop that picture in and you see here that this is rose quartz. Rose quartz, rose quartz, rose quartz, over and over again. And in this way, you can start to learn the different stones. As you do this more and more, you will quickly start learning what they are and you won't have to search quite as much. I myself am curious about this one. I think it's dyed because of the way the color is darker in the veins. A lot of times these dyed stones will have this a little bit darker in the veining. So let's drop it in and see what it is. This is interesting. Fire quartz, but I don't think that's what I've got here. I honestly love when my guess is wrong. This one right here, fire agate from Mexico, looks a lot like what I've got, as you can see where it's kind of more white on the bottom. So I'm wondering if what I've got here is a fire agate. You can see that there's a few other. Here's another agate, fire agate. It does look a lot like what I've got. Maybe it's not dyed. See, learn something new all the time. Now, because this is something new for me, I decided I'm gonna go ahead and look up just fire agate to see what pops up. And as you can see, when I look up fire agate, that's not what I'm seeing here. I need to find out, are there different varieties of fire agate, or were the people that were listing their piece that looks like mine incorrect? When I look up a geology site and look at fire agate, it looks nothing like what I've got. This is gorgeous. So I definitely feel like I'm back to the drawing board when it comes to this piece because it doesn't look like any kind of fire agate that I am searching for on the other websites. So especially if it's new for you, and my hunch was that it was dyed, it's not what I'm seeing with fire agates. So I did a little more digging and I dropped in orange in front of fire agate and I was seeing more things that started to look like mine. I definitely see this one here. It feels like the veining on what I've got is a little different than the fire agates that I'm seeing here. But at least it's starting to point me in the right direction. So I think that I'm on the right track. Maybe, oh, this is something that's called snakeskin agate. I don't know. But at least you can see as you're going down that rabbit hole that this is a way to start figuring out more easily what you've got. And not just to take the first thing that you see, because if it's something that you're like, oh, I don't know, I didn't think that's what that was, then you can explore a little bit more on that. And if you are really stuck and you don't want to spend hours trying to figure out what this is and it's worth, I don't know how much, and it ends up not being worth that much money, you can do your best guess about it where you can put in there orange fire agate and then in your description say that it's untested and say that is your best approximation of what this is. Because if you say definitively that's what this is, then the buyer could get it and they're not happy if it's not actually what that is. And then another option is I have a group called Texas Gals Jewelry Lovers on Facebook. And if you go there and you've got a picture of your item, if you just drop the item in, they're not going to do the work for you. But if you go in and say, look, this is what I've done, this is what I found out, I'm struggling and I just want to make sure, do y'all agree that this might be fire agate? Or do you think that I'm off for some, on the wrong direction or something like that? Then you can get some help from the group in that way. The next piece is this necklace pendant. I chose this necklace pendant because all four of these stones, while they are different colors, they are all the same stone. And if you don't know that and you're not familiar with what this is, then that could really throw you and send you down a rabbit hole of trying to figure out what all these different things are by color. They do all have a different name to identify the different colors, And if you drop this in, you'll see that there are pieces very similar to this that have multiple colors, and this is amber. When you list this, you can put amber. Oh, look here, this is the exact one. This is not my listing, but good job. This is the same pendant, and you can see here that they have put the different colors: yellow, green, honey, cognac. A lot of times these have food names, so if you start getting hungry, that's why. And they have put, the Baltic amber, honey, cognac, etc. into their listing. So if you, as some of the others did when I searched for this pendant, a lot of them just put multicolor amber, which is fine. But if you know the names, then that might also get you more eyes on your piece if somebody's looking for honey amber. And then let's say you've got something like this. It's not a bead. It's not set in a necklace, but you can tell that it's not plastic. Again, this will work. I've dropped my picture in, and you can see here opalescent white shell flower. And here they've used the mother of pearl. So we've got mother of pearl, which is like the inside of that shell that is frequently used to create pieces of jewelry, and it has that iridescent coloring to it. I hope you found this video helpful, and that if you are out there trying to identify stones in your jewelry, that you're able to do it with a little more confidence. And if you enjoyed this video, go down there and leave a like and a comment and let me know you were here. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.